Hello and welcome to today's session on Apex Trader Funding Challenge. Yesterday we held the trade for quite some time. Took a fair bit of heat, probably should have exited, but I didn't. So let's look at how much heat I took. So about 64 points of heat that I shouldn't have sort of ridden out. I guess maybe only 30 points beyond where I should have probably gotten out. So not too bad, and basically the market came back up. Fortunately, we were able to get out before the market then declined further. We'd still be okay if we were able to hold overnight, but I guess actually we would have done okay regardless if the market just closed us out automatically. So anyway. So yeah, as you'll see, about $500 worth of profits there. Unfortunately, about $450 will be counted. The other probably 100 won't be counted, simply because of the 30% rule. Thanks for coming back, Christopher. Good to see you again. Yeah, massive pre-market move. Looks like we rejected very nicely off the. See if we can zoom in. Almost a perfect rejection. Looking at about 3 or 4 points off that S2. So I'll see, look, we've got 1 minute to go. We'll just quickly have a look at this, see if there was any indication that the order flow was saying, right, we're going to move. Is that the right time? Looks like the right area. Very thin volume, I guess. So yeah, nothing too crucial telling us what to do there. So as usual, I'll be using the order flow to determine what direction the market should go. Now, based on the pivot points, the lows down here, we've got the breakout short and the S1 pretty much where the market is right now, and then we've got the close gap up higher. We've also got the pivot in between that close gap. So I'll be aiming for the close, which is about 160 points away. 30 seconds till open, guys, so I'm just going to change my quantity to 1. But from the current price, I'm looking for longs. However, there is a chance that we may come back to the previous day's low as a guess. So just keep an eye out for that. And you know, if this does provide value to you guys, just let me know with a like or a comment in the chat. That would be great to hear from you guys. But basically, we should pull away. Got my finger on the trigger to buy if I start seeing buying coming in really quickly, but hopefully we pull back a little bit before we go up. There we go. A little bit more if we can. Okay. Let's see if we can get some buying to come in now. Look, I'm going to get in for 1 contract. Because, now the reasoning for that is because I saw a bit of ask side activity. We've got a wick here, but it looks like we might fall further. If we can get a really big contract, that's what I'm looking for in the order flow. I'm not looking for like little minute moves. I'm looking for a big indication that the market is going to head long. Look, we're starting to get some more contracts there, but we really want to see like a strong indication, because this is a lot of selling on the bid side to me. So if we break through this, we might be going down further. But still, there's no real indication from my perspective that we're going up. But that 24 is starting to get big, but you've still got big bid side activity. So looks like the buyers are going to hold out. We'll see if we have another rejection off this breakout short. Because ultimately, if I start to see more buying coming in, so a stronger ask side activity for the most part, then I will be looking to add some contracts and then targeting this close gap up here. Just noting that because we reached the pivot just about in the pre-market, we may get a bit of a rejection, so that'll throw out any weak hands. But I do hope that we'll get all the way up to that close gap and fill that gap. Christopher, just checking that the mic's okay as well. Just make sure it's all good on your side. Look, the order flow itself isn't really indicating anything in particular. There's a lot of orders coming through on the bid and ask side. If we see more ask side activity push up from here, then I'll be tempted to add to my position. We're in a slight loss right now, so $4 loss. I'll be aiming to add to my position as this carries on. So targets up here. If we get a bit more of a pullback, I'd like to add more to my position. So we'll just see if we can drop down a little further. We may break this level as well and come all the way down, even perhaps to the low. So really thin volume there. I don't want to get in again too early. So I've only got the one contract. I can weather a bit of a storm because it's only €1 per point. So it's basically, it's not nothing, but it's very minimal. And then when I see the volume spike on this order flow, so there's a bit more activity there, 7 contracts, but maybe not enough. It's very thin volume. And we're going to see a build up at some point indicating, okay, look, I'm going to buy at market there. And the reason is because we've got really thin volume, and then we had 15 contracts on the bid side indicating a potential buy limit order, followed by potentially aggressive buying down here at the 11. So people saw this order come in, and then they started hitting buy at market, and it's moved, well, so far it's kind of pushed the market back up, and we'll see if it can hold. But we may continue lower, so just be aware of that. And that's all part of trading. We don't know what direction the market will go. However, what we're doing is managing our risk, managing what we see in the market, using the order flow, using these levels to assess what our risk will be if we go to the worst case level, where we want to get out and our decision has changed, versus where the target is. So look, there's a bit of bid side activity which tells me selling, but I am hopeful that we'll get some ask side activity in the middle here, pushing the market higher. So now just a quick note for those who are new, the bid side and the ask side can have both buyers and sellers. It's more dependent on the location and I guess number of contracts and where it is on that candle or on the recent price. If you want to learn more about that, Trader Dale's book is really good. Look, I'm really tempted to get in again. That's pretty much, I've hit buy at market. I might have been faked out here actually. It's a new 5-minute candle. That's on a 30-minute, okay. All right, I should have had that on a 5-minute just so I can see a bit more clearly what's actually going on right now. And that could be an indication there that 10 contracts, because it's up high on the ask side and bigger than all the rest of the orders, that could be quite a decent sized limit sell order, indicating that market should then be pushed down. If it's then followed by bid side sellers, so aggressive sellers coming in, pushing the market lower, that may confirm that situation. So I'm hoping now, because I'm in 3 contracts, you can see up here, we're slightly in profit right now, but if we can push up from here and go towards this close gap, we'll be very happy. On the flip side, look, the market went down quite a distance and we've got a fair way to that S3. So look, I might have to have my finger on the trigger and look to get out if we start falling. I know I say that quite a bit and then I end up holding anyway. It's something I've got to figure out is how to actually hit the sell order or hit close when I'm done, because that's quite a weakness. Eventually, it always does. It's not going to work out. So I've been very fortunate with this Apex Trader funding account so far. And we'll see if we can get a bit of momentum to the upside. This structure looks quite good in a sense that we don't have too much in the way of this close gap. So we'll just have to see. We've already had a reaction down off the S2 in the pre-market. That would have been a perfect setup if we got something like that in towards the open. This is 32 contracts now, and it hasn't pushed the market down too much. So I'm going to say that could be aggressive buying up here potentially. So we'll just have to wait and see where the market goes from here. It's quite a slow start to the open, not too much volatility given the pre-market that we saw. It's the 5th of the month. Look, we might start to see a bit of downward movement here. We'll just have to wait and see. But I am hopeful that this level will hold. A bit more momentum, if we can get a bit more motion, a bit more ask side activity, that would be ideal. It's quite thin volume, so while it's moving up, it's very thin. So I feel like it may not take too much to knock it back down. So I'm watching out for a big ask side order indicating that they could be selling, or this activity here that's aggressive selling. Just bear with me one moment, guys. I'll be back in a tick. So we're getting a bit more activity just on this level here, but it's not necessarily saying that it's going to turn around just yet. It looks like the sellers are a little bit stronger here, but we'll see if we can push through. Because ultimately, other than this activity back here, it's a very strong position to be able to target this close gap. We just need the market to get a bit more confidence and break through this level. If we don't get that, the market could come right back to even say the S2 quite easily. So when placing your orders, you've got to be really conscious of how far the market is likely to go against you, and then add some to that. So yesterday when we made that $500, bit of a fake out back the wrong way, as often happens on a new candle. So we're at the 10-minute mark. Hopefully this is a bit of a fake out. 24 contracts there. That could be a buy limit, I'm hoping, meaning that the market should now push higher, because that's a fairly decent sized contract all at once compared to what we've had for the session. But yeah, basically what happened, I got in long up here somewhere, I think. The market came all the way down. I don't know where I got long actually. It might have been all the way up at the... Oh no, it must have been down here. Anyway, the market was 60 points beyond my, I guess, worst case scenario. I held on though, and it worked out because I was quite confident based on a variety of factors, such as the time of the year, the movement that we've seen, that kind of thing. So held on. And it worked out, but you've just got to really be aware of those risk elements. Getting a bit of motion now, which is good. Look, if I was a seller, I'd be a little bit concerned about getting short here. It just looks like it really should go up towards this close gap, or at least the pivot. So we're sitting at about $100 at present. Profit, I can go up to about 450, which is using that 30% rule for the Apex Trader Funding Challenge. because going over that, basically they don't count over that 30% target, so I'll have to make more money than the 1500 target to be able to get funded. I like the structure. That's a 14. That could be an ask limit, but if that is aggressive buying, then that's quite good. Somebody's come in and said, right, that's it, we're going up, with aggressive buying, so hitting that market up. Or on the flip side, if it was, because it's up the top of the candle at the moment, it could be a sell limit. So you've really got to make judgment on the fly really quickly. Christopher as well, I don't know if this is quite repetitive, the type of communication that I'm providing, but I'm basically just commentating what I'm seeing, and obviously it's going to be quite similar each day in terms of what the bid and ask should mean at the current price. So I hope it's not too boring for you as well when you're watching these sessions. I think this could be some selling coming in, because why would somebody have a buy limit there? It's not quite above. It's not like a breakout. But you never know. People could have a strategy where they buy just below this, looking to continue that market on and get a bit more momentum. But I think it's more likely to be a sell. Look, I think that's too small of a move for me to get out just yet. We're at 140 odd. Yeah, it is a bit that way. But I hope it's still helpful nonetheless. We're pulling back. So yeah, this activity here was likely to be a bit of selling, as I thought. But hopefully the market will kind of boost it back up again. So we'll just have to wait and see. Look, if we can get this level, the breakout short, to hold, I'll be quite happy, because then we'll get a bit more sort of interaction. We'll be able to get a bit more buying coming in and then lift us up towards that target. If we start dropping below down to the S1, obviously I'm going to lose a bit of confidence there. But if we can just break through, we ran into that mid Bollinger Band line as well as that resistance kind of area as well over the last little period. I know it's very minimal, but it was enough to, I guess, push that market back down for this candle. Just over to the 1 hour, see if we've got any indication of anything else. Look, on the 4 hour, we've come right down and we're kind of pulling back into those bands. So we've had a very bearish period. I've actually done quite well this month buying. Even though the market's pulled back, I've bought at quite good places and held for the right amount of time and got out at the right time. So it's been very fortunate, I think, based on the look of that chart. Look, we've had that rejection, hopefully coming up. If we can break this now, that looks positive. That's the activity that we want to see. Excellent. We need a bit more buying to come in to keep that momentum going up. Sitting at about 192 profit right now, 200. Now, we're about to hit this resistance up here now. Look, it's just visually on the price chart, it's not huge. So I'm going to try and hang in there. It's quite a challenge to sit there with a couple of hundred on the table when you've only got to make 1,500. Like to see a bit more buying coming in. Hopefully we've accepted above this midline now though, and we'll have some more support coming in. Pulling away now, so it's a bit frustrating. If we can get a bit of support come in, because if this starts coming right down, we might be in a bit of strife. It's a bit disappointing too if we've we're sitting on about $200, and then it comes right back. I'll be a bit, I guess, a little bit frustrated, particularly when we've got such a clear run up to that close gap. Just bear with me a moment, guys. All right, coming back down, we're about to run into the breakout short again. Hopefully we can get some buying. It's very thin volume here. Really need some buyers to actually come in and prop this market up. But at the moment, hopefully that's buy limits. Bit of aggressive buying coming in. Be interesting to see what happens if we hit this price where the 25 is. Alright, bit of buying, so hopefully we'll now reject off this level and continue that movement towards that close gap. Look, anyway guys, that's pretty much the gist of it. It's really just waiting for this market to go long. Best of luck with your trading, guys. I'll be in the Discord chat as well, so best of luck with your trading, and I'll keep you posted in the Discord.